Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you my art supply collection and how I store all of it in my room. For those of you who may not know, I just graduated from college, and when I was in college I was in an art program, so that led to a lot of art supply hoarding because in every class that you take there's like required things that you need to get. It's kind of the art school equivalent of buying textbooks, I think. And so over the years I've accumulated a lot of art supplies, and I also live in a pretty small room, so I've been having to get kind of creative with how I store everything. Everything that I store in my room is basically split up into pretty much 3 sections, and that's in my desk, on these 2 shelves, and in this wretched little corner that is always messy and there's always some shit going on over there. But I also just wanted to say a quick disclaimer that you do not need to own this many art supplies to be a good artist or to practice or to get better. It's just something that I have accumulated because of my time in art school, but I'm hoping to kind of do a clean out soon and donate any unused art supplies that I have to people that need them more than I do. And with that said, let's head over to my desk. Before we hop into things, I'm just gonna give you an overview of this area of my room. This is my desk area. This is where I sit for like 15 hours a day when I do all of my work and stuff like that. I like to have a lot of like my inspirational things above my desk. This bulletin board just has like a bunch of memorabilia and like ephemera, stuff like that from my life, and some pictures and some little drawings of the strawberry shortcake characters because I love strawberry shortcake. It's just so cute. So that's what I have above my desk. It's just a bunch of cute fun stuff for me to look at. I'm bored and procrastinating. This is the top of my desk where I keep a lot of things that I am trying to like grab for all the time. I always have my computer up here. This little thing has a bunch of like pens and like things that I need to grab really quickly. It has like all of my Zettler pens. These are like my favorite for writing in my bullet journal, and I have like 50 of these and they're all in different colors, so I keep them up on here so I can just grab whatever colors that I want. And then I also just have like Sharpies and ballpoint pens and stuff like that in here too. And then I also keep my knife in here, you know, just in case somebody tried to attack me or something while I was sleeping. That's what you get for living in the city. I have some like notebooks and like my square reader for markets and stuff like that. And then also up here I like to keep my headphones. I have AirPods that I actually won for free. Actually, these headphones and my AirPods, I got both of them for free in 2 different circumstances. It was crazy. Anyway, I used to just wear my AirPods when I was like editing videos and stuff, but recently I don't know, I feel it's just like the TikTok brain where you just like have no attention span. I found that wearing bigger headphones like this that cancel out a lot more noise, they just like help me focus more. And even if I'm not listening to anything, sometimes I'll just wear them. Or if I'm like drawing or something, because I feel like it puts me in more of like a productive headspace, just to like have these on and block out all of that city noise that's coming in through the windows, if you know what I mean. And then I keep this little box on my desk. I got this from Target. It was like $3 in the dollar spot, I think. And this just keeps like a lot of my electronic things that I need to have all the time. So this is like my USB like adapter, and my mouse that I use all the time, my external hard drive, which you need. And it also keeps my like cord and my pen for my Wacom tablet, which I'll show you in just a sec. You know, it has the princesses, so like I have to have it out. Big Moana girly, if you didn't know, so that's why I wanted to buy this, because I love Moana. And over here I keep a couple of my journals. I used to keep a lot of these up on my shelf over there, which is where I store all of my sketchbooks, notebooks and stuff like that, but recently, since I've been doing TikTok, I am using my journals all the time, like showing pages and stuff in them and filming videos with them all the time, that I've just been keeping them on my desk. So I have my these are my journals from 2021 and 2022. So I've been keeping these out. And then I always have, this is my current sketchbook, my like little size sketchbook, and then I'm gonna knock everything down. This is my like regular journal where I like write my journal entries. I just like to keep all of these things out because I am constantly reaching for them. So I like to keep those out. And then I obviously also have my current bullet journal on my desk, which I am referencing all the time. So gotta keep that out. And then this is my Wacom tablet. This is what I use to draw on my computer. I enjoy it okay. It was definitely a learning curve because this is one of those things where you have to draw, but you're looking like up at the screen, so you're not looking where your hand is. And that kind of hand-eye coordination like takes a while to adjust to, but I enjoy it now. It works very well for what it is. You can get like way more elaborate ones than this, but I like this one. It's been pretty good. And now we're just going to talk about what's in each of these drawers. So I'm just gonna tell you now, I did not like go through and try and organize or clean out any of these drawers before I started filming because I don't know, I don't want to like give you a false picture of how organized I am with this kind of stuff because it is usually very messy and like often being shuffled around. So I'm just gonna show you as is, and if there's a bunch of random shit in there, that's just like how it's gonna be. So this is the drawer where I try to keep things that I reach for most commonly. Like you can probably tell there's like a hierarchy, like things I keep on my desk I use all the time every single day. These things I do need to reach for, but I want them to get put away, and then as you go further down it's like stuff I use less and less often. So the biggest things that I have in here are these two pouches, which is where I keep all of the pens that I like travel with. So I do try to bring my bullet journal with me most places, and like when I was in college I would bring it to class with me, so I wanted to have all of my pens together on the go. So this larger one pretty much just has all of my Tombow pens in it. I think I probably have like 50 or 60 of them. I used to have all of my pens and stuff in like a cup on my desk. It was so inconvenient to like move them from there into a bag anytime I wanted to go somewhere, so I just leave them in here now and I can just grab it and go whenever I'm going somewhere. And then this little bag is from Glossier. This is like, if you've ever ordered something from Glossier before, you know this is like the little bags that they come in. This bag has all of like my pens and pencils and like fine liners and stuff like that in it. So we have a bunch of my like Micron pens, a couple of the Staedtler pens, mostly the black ones because I use those the most, some pencils, some of the Faber-Castell pens that I love, jelly roll pens. I have so many different types of pens in here. I got like ballpoint pens for when I needed to just like write stuff, Uniball Signo. So I usually just grab this bag with this one and I toss them into my bag anytime I'm going somewhere because those are the ones that I use all the time. In here I've also got like, these are some pens that I tried out. I do like these, I just don't use them as often, but these are a nice like travel size also to go. These are the Zebra mild liner brush pens, and this is a new set of the Tombow brush pens I got for Christmas and I haven't cracked open yet. This is an older thing that I have in the drawer. This is the bag that I used to carry with me to a lot of my like fine arts classes. So this has a lot of my like figure drawing materials. When I used to take figure drawing classes, we would have to have charcoal with us. This is like compressed charcoal. I also have some like vine charcoal. This has like a lot of my nicer drawing pens. Like these are from Derwent, which are pretty nice. I have like my aqua brush, pencil sharpeners, just like stuff like that, and some Conti crayons, stuff like that. These are just like things that I was always required to have in class that I don't often use anymore because I don't really like do figure drawing and stuff like that anymore, but it's always good to have them because they are very nice quality materials. But yeah, this is the bag that I would take to that. Also, when I was doing classes like that, I always needed black ink. This is just a cheaper brand, Higgins waterproof black ink, India ink. And then in here, I also have my little glitters. This is like my little glitter collection. This is like the kind of thing when I'm at like Michael's and I like want to get myself a little treat, I like to get glitters. I use these like more often than you would think. I always use them in little crafts like these magnets that I showed earlier. I use them for stuff like that, and I also use these on my like thank you notes for all of my Etsy orders, so I do use them all the time, which is why they're in this top drawer. Obviously you can tell in the bottom of the store I just have like a bunch of paper scraps. I know it looks really messy, but I do reach for these kinds of things. Like often if I ever just like need a little piece of paper, I just like grab one out of here. These are just like offcuts from like Etsy labels and stuff like that. I got some extra X-Acto knives in here. This is another sketchbook that I used mostly throughout some classes during college. Really thick watercolor sketchbook. So I used it for a lot of ink with this India ink drawings. I don't use this very much anymore, but sometimes I'll grab for it if I want to do a sketch that's in ink. And then also in the bottom of this drawer, I just have a bunch of random stickers. I love stickers. Like, it's the kind of thing that like I love when like a brand or something will send you like a free sticker, and like I buy them for myself sometimes. I love this sticker. I just got it. It's like the MTV logo, but it says RVA for the city that I live in. But I'm just like the kind of person, like I'm always stressed out, like I don't know where to put my cute stickers. Like if I get a really cute sticker, I never like put it anywhere because I'm too nervous that I'm like not gonna put it in a cool enough place. So I just have like a little bag full of stickers. I have a bunch of sticker sheets that I'll put these like on Etsy orders and like in my journal and stuff sometimes, so I just have a stack of those. And then in the back of this drawer is more of like actual paper and stuff like that, so I just have like some big things of construction paper. These I did use throughout college just like for random exercises and projects and stuff like that, and they're just good to have like for whatever you're doing, crafty stuff, or you know. This is like one of the sketchbooks that I used during college. Keep that in there. This is like, I'm currently using that smaller one that's on my desk, but I like to keep a bigger one too, just in case I like want to sketch on something bigger. We got more stickers. These I have had since sometime in high school. I don't even know where or when I got them, but I can't believe I still have these little Disney Tsum Tsum stickers. Anyway, here's another sketchbook that I have. I actually think that I bought this for a class and then I didn't end up using it. This is like a toned gray sketchbook. I want to like think of a project to do where I can just like use this 30-day challenge or something where you do a page a day or something like that. So if you have any ideas for how I can use this sketchbook, let me know. And also in the back here, I just have like a bunch of pads of like different types of paper. These are like sketch pad paper, marker paper, watercolor paper, just like good stuff to have on hand at all times because you never know when you're gonna want or need some. But I also just have some little canvases, got an extra kneaded eraser, these are the best. And then I also have a roll of tracing paper. Tracing paper is like something that I didn't know about really before I was in college. And then when I was in like figure drawing and a lot of my other sketching classes and like concept classes and stuff like that, I realized how useful it actually is, so I really love to use tracing paper now. And that's pretty much everything that's in this drawer. I just have like a bunch of little tiny scraps of things in the bottom of this drawer, but that's everything for this drawer. Now we're moving on to my next drawer. This is a really old desk. I bought this desk at like a thrift store basically. The drawers and stuff are so heavy, like even with nothing in them, they're so heavy and like hard to get out, but this is like an amazing quality desk, so I'm glad to have it. So this drawer is where I keep most of my paint supplies. I am not a natural painter. I do enjoy painting and I do it when I am like energized or like have an idea of something that I'd like to paint, but it's not the kind of thing that I just like sit down and like do every day. But a lot of these paints I have accumulated through college just from different classes and stuff like that. So I have stored a lot of my paints in different large bags to kind of distinguish between them. So this one has, I think this is all acrylic paint from a bunch of different brands. I have some Reeves paints, these are really old, some Liquitex, like that's like a basic cheap brand of paints. These are pretty much all acrylic. I see a couple watercolor tubes in here too, but these are like smaller tubes. I have this bigger bag of like my big acrylic paints. So these are like, I have Liquitex in here, like the Michaels brand, Artist Loft, Plaza Art, just like cheap brands of paint. These are like the big tubes that I have of like main colors. So I have like white, black, magenta, red. And I used to just like have these like sitting out in this drawer and it like was a nightmare, so I had to put them in these bags to like better organize them. And then I also have this small bag of all of my gouache paints. These are my favorite. I think it's good to keep acrylic paints because they're so versatile and just like easy to whip out and use all the time, but my favorite kind of paint is gouache. That's like the only kind of painting that I'm like ever really interested in is doing gouache. These are from Winsor & Newton. They are kind of expensive, but they're really, really high quality and beautiful to use. I only learned gouache in college and I really love them. So I have this set of like 12 gouache paints. I have, this is like my main paint cup. This is like a skull cup that I really like. It's super dirty and stuff now, but I like to use it when I'm painting at home. It's just like fun. And this is like my designated paint cup now. This is a great tip that I learned from one of my professors in college. If you ever are like in art school and you have to paint in class, but you have to bring your stuff like back and forth every day, this is a great system. Getting 2 cups like that fit inside of each other. So I have this Talenti gelato cup and then there's a smaller cup inside of there that has a lid on it. And so you can use one for clean water, one for dirty water, and then you can just seal them inside of each other and it's really easy to carry back and forth from class. And I also just have in here a bunch of like random glues. So I have paper Mod Podge, gloss Mod Podge, and this is like a textile medium, so you can like add this to acrylic paint and it becomes fabric paint kind of. Acrylic paint like more washable and flexible when you put it onto fabric, so that's really cool. This drawer is like very disorganized. I'm like getting overwhelmed. I totally missed out. I also have, this is a full Ziploc thing of watercolor paints. So these are all my watercolors. These are from Reeves and some are from Winsor & Newton. I don't do watercolor a lot, so I might donate these, but I definitely use these throughout college. They're good. Also in this drawer, I try to store a lot of my little crafty things. Bag, this is like from Ipsy. I have like a bunch of my supplies for making my daisy rings and for making my phone charms. So these are like kind of like jewelry wire, tweezers, charms, stuff like that in here. This is like also a good thing that I like to bring places with me. Like if I'm just gonna go and go sit outside somewhere and I want to make some rings or something like that, I just like to bring this, throw it in my bag. It's really easy to carry around. These are my seed beads that I use to create my daisy rings. I also have this big bag of beads that I've used to make my phone charms. Let me grab my phone so I can show you. This is what I'm talking about. I have a couple of these in my Etsy shop if you're interested in them. And I should probably make a couple more because I have a lot of supplies left. So I also have just like a bunch of random stuff in here like these. This is like a big thing of Sharpie markers that I don't use a lot. I should probably test these because I think a lot of these are probably out of ink anyway. I have this big thing of like stick-on letters that I use to make a banner for my table at an art market. I have a little stamp that I made. Sometimes put this on the outside of my Etsy packages. I have my hot glue gun. This is like a super cheap one. I think this was like $5 from Michael's or something like that. And I just have like some extra glue sticks, so I have one extra stick of glue left. This is also a good thing to have. This is like the top of a Pringles container or something, I think. This is something that is really good to have if you're using a hot glue gun. I hate when you get glue like on the table, even though you can just like peel it up. I just put this underneath like the tip of the glue gun if it's like sitting like this. And then just the extra glue just globs onto here. And I don't care if this gets messed up. Like there's literally holes burnt in it, but it's like a good thing to have anyway. I've also got, this is my main paint palette that I use. I don't know where I got this. I think my grandmother gave this to me actually. Also good to have. This is just like a spray bottle for watercolors and stuff like that. I used to carry this to class and stuff too. Also in the very bottom of this drawer, I just have like a bunch of random art supplies that I don't reach for all the time. So I have this set of watercolor brush pens like this, but you can also like reactivate them with water. Also back here I have some Prismacolor markers that I use. I have these are like watercolor pencils, some Prismacolor color pencils, and then just like some smaller watercolor sets that I've used, and then a set of other watercolor pencils. And then I also have, this is the set of tools that I use to make that rubber stamp. And then this is my oldest sketchbook from college. Sketches, notes, more sketches, more notes, and that's this drawer. This drawer is pretty full, like there's a lot of stuff in here, but I actually used to have a lot more and it was a lot less organized than it is now. Art supplies are something that even though it's difficult and like it takes a lot of effort to keep it organized, it's something that you really have to do, because before there was so much stuff in here that I just never used because I never saw it. Like, this is such a deep drawer and everything would just get lost and tucked under stuff and I would forget about things and I felt like I wasn't using it, which is like, what is the point of having all this if I'm not using it to make stuff? So I feel like getting rid of a lot of stuff and then reorganizing this so that I can at least see everything is like the way to make sure that you're using everything that you have and not wasting any of it. And this is like my most miscellaneous drawer. This is honestly not even all art supplies, but I'm just going to show you like the random stuff that I have in here. This is like a bag of like random crafty things. Like I have magnets, like embroidery floss, felt, elastic, stuff like that in here. This is just stuff that I've like bought for like random costumes and like DIY projects and stuff that I have leftovers of. And I do still use stuff like this, so I just like to keep it in a bag like this for when I need it. I also just like have a bag of like air dry clay. And then I have some different size wire. You think that you wouldn't use, but I use them all the time for random projects. Usually costumes, but like you can use them all the time. I also have some fishing wire. This is also something that I used so many times throughout college. Like, how did I find this many uses for fishing wire? But it's a very useful product. And then in here I also just have a bunch of my materials for making my sun catchers, which is something that I sell in my Etsy shop. I keep a lot of this down here. I need to restock soon, so probably have to order some more, but it's been pretty good so far. Really, the rest of the stuff is like, these are all old notebooks and stuff from school, index cards and, you know, like envelopes and stuff like that. This is like the last thing that's really an art supply kind of in here. It's very discolored from the sun because it used to sit in front of a window, but it still works perfectly fine. I don't know why I have this jar in here, an extra jar. But this is my sticker maker. I bought this when I was in high school and I loved it. You can make like handmade stickers with this. Basically, you can like draw or paint something and then you crank it through here and it puts like a sticky layer on the bottom with also removable backing, and then you can just cut it out. I have it in this drawer because I have ran out of the filler that goes in there. I need to buy a new one, but I do still use it like for fun. I don't make like stickers for sale with this anymore. It's just more of like a fun thing for me to have, but yeah, it's just like a cool tool. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that usually is in this drawer. And then I'm not going to show you everything that's in this top drawer because this isn't really art supplies, but I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I keep in here because you can see how messy this is. It's insane. I mostly keep in here like all my different kinds of tape that I use, like my packing tape, scotch tape, masking tape, and then I just keep like extra pencils. These are my favorite pencils. They're from Bic. These are like I think they call them like the sparkle ones. They're so good. And then I have like my big ruler, my business cards. This one is all wrinkly, and of course all of my like extremely messy office supplies like my stapler and whiteout and stuff like that, but this drawer isn't insanely messy, so bye bye. I also wanted to say I always store this mat behind my desk. This is like a self-healing cutting mat where if you like use an X-Acto knife or something on this, it'll like squish down kind of, and it's also just nice to protect the surface of my desk if I'm ever working with like clay or glue or, you know, knives, stuff like that. It's like a good thing to have, but I don't always leave it on my desk. I'll just like throw it behind there when I'm not using it. And then this is my little shelf area where I store some of my other stuff. Not everything on these shelves, and especially on the shelves over there, is like art supplies, but on these shelves there. So this shelf is where I keep all of my old bullet journals, other regular journals, unused journals that I haven't used yet. This is like my oldest bullet journal. This is a planner I use. This is an old sketchbook, old journal. This is a little photo album that I have that has all of my like disposable pictures on it. When I've gotten disposable cameras, I've put them in here. So cute. And yeah, these are just like unused sketchbooks and more journals and stuff like that. I also just have like some little decorations and stuff on here that I talked about in my room tour video if you want to see those. And then up on this shelf is where I keep my Cricut. So this is a Cricut Joy. This is like the smallest one that they make, I'm pretty sure. I got this like 2 years ago for Christmas. She's a little dusty right now. But yeah, I have loved using this since I got it. It's like the perfect size for me because I really don't have space to store like the larger ones. But I mostly use this to make my sun catchers for my Etsy shop, which I designed myself. And it's the best. And I think it's really cute, so I like to put it on my shelf also. Then also on the shelf, I have this little jar that has... This isn't a jar. What is this? A cup. This cup has all of my like Cricut tools. Like it comes with like scissors and like my X-Acto knife and stuff like that. I thrifted this beautiful glass. It's like so pretty. And then up here I also have a jar of all of my washi tapes that I use constantly for like Etsy orders and cards and in my journal and stuff like that. And then I have a jar of all my paintbrushes. These have been collected over all of the years. I have some like really cheap ones like from Michael's and stuff like that, but also my grandmother, who's an artist, has given me some really nice ones also, and those are all my paintbrushes. And that's all that's really on these shelves, but I just like to display like the prettier things that I have up here, so like these pretty jars and like nice notebooks and stuff like that. Okay, and this is what I previously referred to as the wretched little corner of my room. As I said, I don't have a lot of space to store things, so this back area behind my armoire dresser here is where I store a lot of my larger supplies. This is where I keep all of my like my poster boards, and then I'll keep like larger sketchbooks back here. Like these, I have large drawing pads and like Bristol pads back there. And I also have this huge binder clip worth of like old paintings and projects like that. Like these go back several years, like since the start of my college journey. I just have so many things back here. So many large charcoal and pencil drawings and stuff back here that I just don't have space to put otherwise. So they've just been in a clip sitting in this corner of my room. Also back here, this gets moved around a lot just based on what I'm doing and what space that I need. But I have this big milk crate that has a lot of my stock that I have on Etsy right now. This is where I store a lot of like my art prints, and then I have a bunch of my sun catchers pre-made and packaged. Most of these were packaged for the market that I did in December, but it's really convenient just to have them ready to go. And then I have my phone charms stock, all of my daisy rings that I've made, and then I have like some of my leftover Valentine's Day cards. Yeah, I was going to say, if you saw my designing my Valentine's Day cards video, I kind of wanted to do a little update to that because I'm really happy. Almost all of my cards have sold out. I sold all of the Valentine's Day ones. Those ones went the fastest, and I only have 4 left of the Valentine's Day ones, so I'm really happy with how that worked out. People were so nice about it, so I'm glad to sold those, and I'm looking forward to doing some more cards in the future because these are super fun. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that that's all of my art supply collection. I like have some other stuff, like under my bed I have my big portfolio that just has more old drawings and stuff like that from all of my classes in it, and I also have my like Etsy shipping supplies underneath my bed, like all of my flat mailers and envelopes and stuff like that are down there. But I think that's everything that I have in my room. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more content from me, definitely follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, where I've been posting a lot more frequently recently. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!